All right, you guys, what is up? It is Doug, your host of the Microglass podcast, and today is episode 2, and it's all about reviews. I'm going to be reviewing Joker, The Invisible Man, Sony's State of Play featuring Ghost of Tsushima, and Sony's State of Play featuring The Last of Us Part 2. So sit back, relax, and get ready for episode 2 of the Microglass podcast. Alright, you guys, this is it, episode 2 of the Microglass podcast. Now, before we begin our topics for this episode, I just want to mention the logo might be a bit different because things are adjusting, and I'm trying out a few things, seeing what works and what doesn't. Like I said in the last episode, same thing with audio. I'm still using the headphones, the earbuds with the mic that's on the side of the cord, which I've been told actually sounds pretty good. So I'm going to eventually try things on the Mac, but we'll get to that when we get to that, and I'll update you all when I make any changes to the show. So for right now, we're recording on the iPad like usual. And if you guys notice that the image might move at some points, it's because for some reason the image does not fully fill the screen as it should when you have it on your device or whatever. So you gotta like tinker with it, and it's a pain in the ass sometimes to get it just right in the frame or whatever. I'm blabbing. Anyway, we are going to do this, but before we do, just want to remind you all, if you like the podcast, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload new episodes of the show, if you want to, that is. Subscribe to Microglass Gaming and Microglass Music. And of course, the podcast is here on Microglass Productions exclusively for now. I've been looking at hosting websites such as Podbean, I believe it's called. And, well, you never know. It might not be exclusive to YouTube after a while, but for right now it is. So, and if you have not checked out episode 1, what the hell are you doing here? Go check out episode 1 and then come back to episode 2. So, with all of that out of the way, we're going to do some reviews. We're going to review Joker, The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss. Sony's State of Play featuring Ghost of Tsushima, which came out a few weeks ago, but I figured why not. I want to talk about that because that game is going to be amazing, and I am recording this on Wednesday, May 27th at 1:15, so at 4 o'clock, the new State of Play featuring The Last of Us Part 2 will be out, so I'm going to watch that and record my reactions or reviews or whatever. So enough of me blabbing again. Let's roll right in to my review of Joker. All right. My review for Joker, which came out or released in theaters on October 4th, 2019, directed by Todd Phillips, and of course starring Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck, aka the Joker. Let me tell you all something. I have never been so hyped for a movie as much as I was with Joker. Joker, I followed that movie from beginning to end, from when they announced it to when it came out in theaters. Every time there was like anything behind the scenes coming out, like set photos or videos, I wanted to see. Because this movie and this character is so iconic and so amazing that this movie, I'm obsessed with this movie. I saw it 2 times in the theater, surprisingly only twice. I saw it many times after that, and I still watch it all the time. I could probably quote the movie by heart almost because I've watched it so many times. And they are talking about possibly, maybe, doing a sequel. Of course, I would love nothing more than a sequel. But does this movie really need a sequel? I'm 50-50. If they were to say this is it, I'd be cool with that. I'd be like, hell yes. If they were to announce officially we're working on Joker 2, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, let's go. And okay, this, oh my god, I don't even know where to begin with the review. I'm just gonna talk about it. So this might be a review slash my thoughts on the movie, which is most likely what all this is gonna be. I'm calling it just reviews. The episode is just gonna be easier. Anyway, Joaquin Phoenix killed it as Joker. I'm gonna say it right now. He is my definitive favorite Joker, above Jack Nicholson, above Mark Hamill, above Heath Ledger, above Jared Leto, above Cameron Monaghan, above Troy Baker, above John DiMaggio, all of them. He is my favorite Joker right now. Obviously, there might be someone else that comes in and tops it. We'll see. But Joaquin Phoenix is my favorite Joker. What they did with this movie was brilliant. They set it in Gotham in the 1980s, and just seeing this man's life. He's going through some crazy shit. He gets beat up. He gets fired from his job. Spoilers, by the way. I don't care. We're putting spoilers in here and all throughout this whole thing with all the other reviews, just so you know. He just smiles through it all. At the same time, he's becoming who he is truly meant to be. He has this condition called pathological laughter. I know there's another term, but I don't remember it right now. But pathological laughter, which is involuntary laughter, which is you could be like at a funeral or something traumatic. You could be seeing something traumatic happening, or like a building on fire, and you could just be like, start laughing. And you can't control it. You can't, it just happens. Like, for instance, he's on the bus and he's just, there's a kid sitting in front of him with his mom, and he's just trying to make the kid laugh. He's just being a cool dude. And the mom sees that and she's like, what the hell are you doing? Leave my kid alone. He's like, oh, no, I didn't, I'm not doing anything. And she's like, look, just stop. And then he's like, I'm sorry. And then she's like, no, just stop. Quit bothering my kid. And then he just starts busting out laughing. But at the same time, you could tell it hurts for him to laugh. And he gives her this card that says, I have a condition. I laugh at inopportune, or weird times or whatever. Inappropriate times, that's it. That's basically the gist of it. Or he'll cry. And he can't control that. And oh man, this movie's so good. And the stairs, he's like struggling to climb up all these stairs in the beginning of the movie, and then when he eventually becomes Joker, he's dancing down the stairs like he's descending down into madness, into who he truly is. And he's just causing chaos all throughout the city, and he starts all these riots, and this movement, as Robert De Niro's character Murray Franklin calls it. And oh my god, they had so many throwbacks to the comics and just references of it's just so much stuff. It's so much stuff. I don't want this episode to be an hour long. I just want to show my appreciation for this movie because I love this movie so much. And the music. The music in this movie was so good. It's hauntingly beautiful, the music, the score in this movie. Todd Phillips, brilliant directing. And I want to see I want to see all the like as I know there were scenes that were cut, like for instance there was a scene where like someone just filmed them out in the street and you see Arthur and oh, what was his name, the guy that gives him the gun, Randall. You see them two talking, and there's a video that like tried to piece together what they said just by what their mouths were doing, but that scene wasn't in the movie. I wish that scene was in the movie. It would have been pretty cool to see that. Like, if there's a cut of everything that's, I want to see every scene included that was cut in this movie. Oh my god, this movie is so good. It's so good. I hope we get a sequel, but then again, I hope we don't. You never know. And it's like the whole time because Joker is an unreliable narrator, so it's like, did everything we just see in this movie really happen, or was it all in his head? We don't know because there's so many like theory videos like, oh, the time it never changes, it's always at like 3 o'clock, I think it was, or something like that. All the clocks or watches, whatever, everything that has to do with time is the same exact time. So it's like, what the hell is going on? And then it's just like this. Oh my god, I'm rambling. I know. I apologize for all you listening. You probably don't want to hear me ramble. I don't care. It's my show. I can do whatever the hell I want. But I must say, Joker, like the character Joker, is not my number one favorite DC comic book villain. He's number two, or at least tied with my number one, who is Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow. I was hoping for a cameo of some kind or like an Easter egg when when Arthur goes to the Arkham State Hospital. I was hoping like there would be a doctor or someone walking by with a name tag that says like Crane on it, or like on the speaker, because when I went back and saw it for a second time in a theater, I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen again for when he's in the Arkham State Hospital. If there's like someone coming over the PA system, and I'm gonna see if I can hear like, oh, Dr. Crane, come to room whatever, whatever. But no. But in that one behind the scenes video that someone filmed, you could see on the back wall with Arthur and Randall, there is a graffiti on the wall behind them, and one of them says Amusement Mile, which is pretty dope. And one of them had said Mad Hatter, which was pretty awesome. The comedy club that Arthur performs at is an homage to him in the Red Hood story, where he bombs at the show. And I like how they called it Pogos because it was a nod to John Wayne Gacy. Obviously, what he did was terrible, but they called it Pogos or whatever because I think that was his clown name or something. But I love how Arthur would just laugh at everything. Like he has like the coolest laugh, like Joker wise. Mark Hamill is awesome though too. I don't know who's better with that, but like when he's at the comedy club and he's in the audience and everyone else is laughing at the comics jokes that's on stage, and then they would all laugh and then he would laugh on like a 2 or 3 second delay, and it was cool. And he's imagining himself being on the Murray Franklin show, and he brings him up on the stage and he's like, look, all this lights, all this, the crowd, all this stuff, I'd give it up all in a heartbeat to have a kid like you. And And then, that's obviously Arthur's fantasy, because I feel like if it's Arthur's fantasy, it show like they it's a fantasy because they show Arthur like right after. The stuff with him getting inside that fridge, I don't know. I've heard theories that maybe he could have died in there, or maybe not. Maybe this movie's just, oh my god, this movie's amazing. This movie is amazing. Okay, all right. I think I don't want to go on too long about Joker. This movie's amazing, and it is just amazing. I'm blabbing. All right, my next topic here on the Microglass podcast is my thoughts or review on The Invisible Man that came out this year. The Invisible Man 2020, starring Elizabeth Moss. So let's roll right on into that. Alrighty, my thoughts or review of The Invisible Man 2020, which released in theaters on February 24th, 2020, directed by Lee Winnell, who was in the Saw films as Adam in the first one, and stars Elizabeth Moss. And it just came out on Blu-ray yesterday, at the time of this recording anyway, which was May 26th, which was Tuesday. And I was finally able to rent it, because I guess that's when you're able to rent it, when it comes out on Blu-ray. I rented it off of the PlayStation Store and watched it. Now, it might not be as in-depth as Joker was, because it was my first time seeing it. I missed this one in the theater, unfortunately. But yeah, this movie was pretty good. This movie was awesome. And spoilers. I'm gonna do spoilers for this. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's amazing. And then come back here and you can hear my thoughts on it, I guess. From the trailer, when she's in the attic, Cecilia, I believe her name is, and Adrian is the Invisible Man. Th- Basically, the premise is he's this dude's an asshole. This dude is an asshole. He literally controls this girl's life. What she wears, where she goes, when she goes outside of the house, to what she thinks, to everything, every aspect of this girl's life, he's in complete control of, because he's a manipulator. He knows how to do all that type of shit, I guess. So right at the beginning of the movie, she's trying to get out. She's tiptoeing around the house. And what was cool, I don't know if this was intentional, but I noticed this a lot in the movie, was that when there's someone standing and you see their silhouette, and like in the background or in the foreground, and then they turn a light switch on, and then the room that gets illuminated is huge, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know the room was going to be that big. I don't know, maybe that was just me, or maybe that was intentional, but that's what I noticed right off the bat with this movie, and that was a pretty cool effect. So she's tiptoeing around the house trying to sneak out. She kicks a dog food bowl, and then she like hightails it out, and then as she's getting out, there's the dog. She's like, I can't leave the dog here. So she takes the collar off him, and as she's doing that, the dog bumps into the car, sets the car alarm off, and then she books it to the wall. And then I guess her sister comes, picks her up, and she's sitting there like, what's going on? She's like literally sitting there, not even driving yet, And all of a sudden, Adrian comes up and, like, yells at her to get out of the car. And then they decide to drive away and speed away and get away from him. He's chasing them. Then it cuts to 2 weeks later. As expected, she's living with a friend. I guess it's her sister's boyfriend, but I never got that impression because they never looked like they were a couple at all. Or maybe it's just a friend of theirs, I don't know. And his daughter. I think his name was James. James and his daughter. I forget the daughter's name. But Cecilia is there living with them. And he's a cop, and then he's trying to slowly get her acclimated to going outside and getting back to normal. And she's like petrified, understandably so, because she doesn't want this dude to find out where she's at. And so she's like going outside little by little, and then she's like so close to getting the mail. Like, this is like the big accomplishment right now. And then she sees a guy running. Obviously, she thinks that's Adrian coming after her and running at her, so she just books it back inside. And then her sister shows up, informing her that Adrian's died, that Adrian is dead, that he slit his wrist and committed suicide. So there's like a sigh of relief. Oh my God, he's dead. I can continue living. So things are okay. Things are going great. He's dead. This abusive asshole is gone. And then things start happening, which this was cool. They would focus on her, but the camera would pan up or left or right or somewhere else. And it was like suggesting, like, ooh, is something there? Is something not there? Is she going crazy? Which everyone thinks she's losing her mind because they're not going to believe they don't believe what she's saying. Oh, there's Adrian's alive. He's found a way to make himself invisible. And you see like little things here and there in the shots. You'll see like the one in the trailer is the stove turning on. And just little things like that are subtly moved. Like, you'll see footprints when she was in the bed sleeping. Her blanket gets pulled off her, and then she's trying to yank it back, and then there's two footprints, and they're getting closer and closer. And then she's calling for, James. Oh, there's someone in here. There's someone in here. And then he comes rushing in. Nothing is obviously there. So I don't want to give too much away because I want you all to see this. I kind of want you all to experience for yourself. But I gotta say, I do want to say this from the trailer. When she's up in the attic and she dumps the paint on him, right there, that tells you that it's a morph suit. It tells you right there it's a suit of some kind that the dude is wearing, because this dude is a technological genius. He's got this suit. It's made all out of cameras and mirrors or whatever. And that's how he's became invisible, which is pretty awesome. And he's just messing with her throughout the whole entire movie, and it is brilliant. And then her brother's, or not her brother, Adrian's brother's a lawyer, and he's like, look, he's gone. We have his ashes right here. We have photos of his body. He's dead. He's done. He's gone. And, just making it all seem like she's, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs type of deal. And this movie was awesome. This movie was so good. I like I said, I've only seen it the one time. I want to watch it again for sure, definitely, without a doubt, no question, because this movie was awesome. But I will say, I love the one scene where, major spoiler moment here, where Cecilia and her sister are in the restaurant, and she's like telling her what is going on, and her sister's like, okay, she's starting to get it. She's starting to listen on what her sister is saying. After the fact that they had a falling out because Adrian sent this email talking major shit about her, making it seem like it was Cecilia, but it obviously wasn't. But there's this whole big thing. But anyway, they go out to dinner at the restaurant, and all of a sudden, this knife just slits her throat, and it just floats right into her hand. So he was right there the whole time, watching everything that she did, listening to every word she said. And then she gets sent to the psych ward and all this crazy stuff, and then just chaos after that. You just gotta go watch it. I know I'm like spoiling most of the movie here, but still, it's so good. Or if you've already watched it, you know what happens. I think that's gonna be it for my thoughts or review on The Invisible Man 2020, because you gotta go watch this movie if you haven't, and if you have, let's talk in the comments, I guess. I don't know. Or whatever. This movie's awesome. Go check it out if you haven't. That's going to be it for my thoughts or review on The Invisible Man. The next topic is going to be my thoughts reviews on Sony's State of Play featuring Ghosts of Tsushima. Alright, the Sony State of Play featuring Ghost of Tsushima, which was about a few weeks ago, and this game is going to be amazing. Ever since this game was announced, I have been all over it and I have been hyped for it. And we finally got a State of Play dedicated to the actual game and more gameplay, which was awesome. And real quick, I'll just say that this game comes out on July 17th, 2020. This game was supposed to come out in June, but due to the pandemic and everything going on, they moved it to July. So the State of Play review showed us a lot more than what we've ever seen before with this game. And oh my god, I don't know what I'm more excited for. If I'm more excited for Ghost of Tsushima or The Last of Us Part 2. I think I'm pretty much equally excited for both. But this game is going to be amazing. It looks really good. And they said that there's pretty much not going to be a HUD or a heads up display in this game. You use landmarks and like things that are moving around, or like buildings or whatever. When I heard that, I was like, how are they gonna pull that off? Because I like my waypoints on the map or in the game or whatever. I like to know where I'm going. Plus, I'm visually impaired, so it kind of helps me out a bit. So then, when the State of Play happened and they explained it more, I was like, okay, now I get it. What they're doing is awesome. This looks really cool. The way you navigate around the map, like instead of having like a waypoint destination thing, like arrows on the ground or something, or like a line on the map telling you where to go, you follow the direction of the wind, which I think is brilliant. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be kind of, it shouldn't be too hard to get used to figuring all that out, but that should be pretty awesome. And I like how the wind is the coolest thing. Like, you follow the wind to find out, you place a marker. You can at least do that. Place a marker on the map to where you want to go, and the wind will guide you. But what's also cool is that, from what they showed, like, you follow a bird or a fox or something like that, and it'll lead you to like a shrine or like a hidden area where you can find stuff and collect stuff. That is awesome. So they mean that there really is not going to be a heads up display. So that's going to be interesting to get used to that. I also read that, certain trees, the way certain trees look, that's going to lead you somewhere. Maybe like if moss is growing on one side of a rock or a tree, it's like near civilization or whatever, I guess. I'm just guessing at that point. There's different ways to play. Obviously, you have you have your Assassin's Creed type style gameplay, like stealth gameplay. Speaking of which, I really hope Assassin's Creed goes to feudal Japan. Just saying, I've been waiting for that forever and they haven't done it yet. But anyway, Ghost of Tsushima is the closest I think we're ever going to get. Maybe even at all. But you can do stealth, or because they showed you going into an encampment and they showed you playing it different ways. First, they showed it just going, just walking up and just, samurai swords are out and you're fighting. But it's cool because they said the gameplay, the sword play, the fighting, whatever, it's going to be really challenging. That's going to be interesting because I'm just used to, kind of button mashing, if you want to say that. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome because you have to parry your attacks, you have to time it right, and you only have, from what I could gather, like they say that he saves his energy for like the more important moves. So you can't just walk in there and just go swords blazing and slicing everyone up like you want to. You have to strategically figure out, like a puzzle, what's gonna work, and you're gonna find out real quick what's not gonna work because you can't hit enemies like 10 or 15 times and they can't hit you 10 or 15 times. So it's like you got to be on your game, you got to be on point. And then there's also the stealth aspect of it, which is going to be cool, where it's more like familiarization with like maybe like Assassin's Creed. That's the thing I can compare it to, and I think that's what a lot of people are comparing it to, is Assassin's Creed. You throw something on the ground like a firecracker and they'll be like, oh, what is that? And then you just take them out, and then it's typical stuff. After that, they show customization. I love customization in video games, and this is going to be awesome. The way that you can color your outfit, you have to actually find flowers, like colored flowers, and that's how you dye your clothes. Like if you want like a blue outfit, you have to go and find however many blue flowers, I guess, and then that you combine it and you craft it and you put it in your outfit, and that's how you get it. And then there's so much cool stuff. Though the one cool thing is the black and white mode. That's gonna be dope. And there's also a Japanese voice track, which I'm not really a fan of. I'm not gonna play that way. If you want to play that way, go right ahead. But I'm not gonna. I'm not a fan of reading subtitles while I'm watching something. It's just no thanks. But on my second playthrough, I know for sure I'm gonna be putting that black and white filter on and just going to town with that. That's gonna be cool. Another thing I thought was cool was their photo mode, which is not just a static image. It's gonna have particles and wind effects and whatever else you can think of that they have in the game. You can make like a little video clip or a GIF, whatever you want to call it. That is dope. But this game is going to be amazing, and I cannot wait. I actually am going to be out of town for the first week or so of July, so this game will be out when I get back, which is perfect, because then I can just rock this game and have fun with it. So this was actually probably going to be pretty short, so if I left anything out, then oh well, I'll probably mention it in the next episode, or I'll throw it in at the end of this one or something. But that's pretty much it for my thoughts or reviews on the State of Play featuring Ghost of Tsushima. And now it's time for the newest Sony State of Play featuring The Last of Us Part 2, because I literally just got done watching that. So let's switch topics and talk about Sony State of Play featuring The Last of Us Part 2. Ellie's State of Play featuring The Last of Us Part 2. Here's my thoughts and review. So let's get to it. The Last of Us Part 2 was originally supposed to be out, I believe, May 29th, which is, at the time of this recording anyways, tomorrow. But obviously with the pandemic and everything going on, the game got delayed till, well, first it had like an unofficial kind of delay, like we didn't know when it was coming out. But then after all the leaks and everything, I'm assuming happened, that they just decided to put it out on June 19th, which is when this game was coming out. So I'm going to go over a brief recap, I guess, of the State of Play event. So let's see here. The gameplay is more of the same from the first game, but is evolved, which is cool. Ellie now lives in Jackson, Wyoming, and everything is peaceful and stable until a traumatic event occurs. Everything's all fine and dandy. Ellie's got a new relationship with some chick named Dana, which is awesome. And a couple other friends that are there, Joel, Tommy, and a new character named Jesse. And then shit goes down. And so Ellie is off on her own adventure, I'm guessing. The game takes place throughout multiple seasons, just like the first game, and there are going to be two warring factions. The WLF, which is the Washington Liberation Front. They are a militia group that took over the military and are in control of the city. That's where they're at. And if they catch any trespassers, they will either imprison them or kill them. And then there's also the Seraphites, or the Scars, and they have like carvings or markings on their faces, which is pretty dope. And they are more tribalistic and territorial, and they use stealth and silent weapons like bows and arrows, which is awesome. That's pretty dope. And as far as the infected go, pretty much more of the same. It's looking like here you got your typical runners, you got the clickers, and you got the bloaters. The stalkers, I want to say, is new, I think, which they look pretty dope. They sneak up on you while they're in the dark and they try to take you out. New one that was mentioned is the Shambler. I think that's what it sounded like he said. It was kind of hard to tell. And they emit like this poison pus on that's like covering them, and then if they blow up or whatever, they explode and then it burns you, which is pretty cool. And then there is another new type of infected that was teased but was not shown. They like the screen went black and you hear like this badass like screech roar type noise, and they're like, oh, you got to play the game to find out what that is. So it's like, all right, I see what you're doing, you teasing bastards, but it's all good. And if there is an area that you are in and there is more than one type of enemy, you can pit them all against each other and make them fight and then take out the remaining enemies, which is pretty cool. I know you could do that in the first game, but it sounds like they're expanding on that, so that's going to be pretty cool. Kind of like what you could do with the Evil Within, I believe. You could do something similar like that, which is cool. Ellie can crawl in the grass, like on her stomach, and she could take enemies out while she's laying down, and like she shoots like a bow and arrow in this dude's eye, which is pretty dope. But while in the grass, you can actually now be spotted, which is cool. Unlike before, or like I've been playing Assassin's Creed, like you'll be in the bushes and they can't see you when they clearly could. But in this game, you got to be careful, because if the enemies get close enough, they will spot you, and then you got to run away and then, re-hide yourself again, or become in stealth mode, I guess. And then you can take them out again using stealth, but they're going to be on the lookout for you. And what's cool now is that Ellie can, I don't know if she has a rope on her at all times, or if it's just like if there's a rope around, she'll use it. But she can climb up and down the rope and swing from the rope. As like it reminded me of Uncharted anyway. and she can reach different parts of the environment, gather resources, and come across side narratives, which sounds pretty cool. And at times, she can even avoid enemies altogether. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to do that throughout the whole game, but we'll find out. I doubt it, but you never know. And since Ellie is obviously smaller than Joel, she's going to be more agile and nimble and can traverse the land a lot differently, which is pretty cool. And there'll be times where you'll come across flooded areas of wherever you're at, and you'll have to use a boat to traverse it, which that is pretty cool. I'm sure you're probably gonna have to gather gas and supplies to make the boat run, maybe, which would be pretty cool. And now we get into actual extended footage of gameplay. The first thing they show is that Ellie gets in the water and she actually swims. She finally learned how to swim. Let me tell you, the first game was a pain in the ass sometimes because you'd be Joel in the water and Ellie's like, "Oh, I can't swim." So every damn time there was water and Ellie couldn't like walk across it like she could a couple times, you had to get a pallet and get the pallet over to her so she could hop on it, and then you got to bring her to wherever you got to bring her. So that is cool that she finally learns how to swim above water and underwater, which is awesome. But like I said, gameplay is more the same. There's a bit more customization with the crafting workbench and the book bag. It seems to be a lot more stuff going on there, which is cool. And then as Ellie came up from the water, she was inside this building, and there was this chick just guarding it, I guess, if you want to even call it that, because she's got headphones on, and this was cool. She was playing a PlayStation Vita, which was pretty dope, and you actually see her holding it, and Ellie's got her at knife point, and then the chick turns on Ellie, and then Ellie kills her, obviously stabs her right in the throat, and she's like gasping for breath and blood squirting out of her neck, which is cool, and she's like, that was dumb. That was awesome. Let's see. She can also use enemies as human shields, which is obvious because why wouldn't you? And that's obvious, but that's pretty dope. And obviously, this game looks way more violent and brutal than the first game. That is for damn sure. I cannot wait for this game. This game, even though I have read the leaks, but I don't care. The leaks were going to be unavoidable, I think. There was no way I was going to be able to dodge that. They were everywhere. Everyone was talking about them in the comments. And people could say, don't look at the comments. But, you know, even in like screenshots, like a thumbnail of a video is probably going to get spoiled for me anyway. So I just bit the bullet and I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's everywhere. I'm probably going to get spoiled anyway. So I bit the bullet and read the leaks. So it's not going to deter me from playing the game. I want to play the game. I think it's going to be awesome, even though I know things. But we'll have to see how it all works in context because a lot of people are pissed. And I can understand why. I am a little bit, but once I play the game, I'll be able to make a full what do you call it, assumption or review or my full thoughts, whatever on it. But that's gonna be it for my thoughts or reviews or whatever on the State of Play featuring The Last of Us Part 2. And that's all the topics for today, you guys. Let's see here. With all that out of the way, Friday, May 29th, which at the time of this recording is tomorrow. This might even be uploaded today or tomorrow. But Friday, May 29th is Microglass Gaming's 5th year on YouTube, 5th birthday. Happy birthday, Microglass Gaming. And this kind of sucks. I was going to record a Let's Play of the Iron Man VR demo and upload it on Microglass Gaming's 5th birthday. I was all excited. I went to go play Beat Saber the other night, and one of my Move controllers just stopped working. The one of them works fine. Push the button and it turns on and it connects. It's all good. The other one just wouldn't connect, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe the battery just died, so I charge it for a while. and nothing. So I would leave it in the charging stand because that's where I charge my two Move controllers and have the PSVR sitting. And it would turn on, it would connect, but as soon as you take it off the charging stand, it would disconnect and turn off. So I was looking up online at some stuff. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This sucks. So I found a charging cord for it last night, charged it for a bit, and it did the same exact thing. And I even left it in the charger, turned it on. It turned on and connected. As soon as I unplugged it, it turned off. So I think that Move controller is done. I also did I took my iPhone SIM card thing and reset it with the button on the back. Nothing. So I guess I'm probably gonna have to buy a new set of Move controllers. I'll still keep the one that works just in case. You never know. But that sucks, man. I was so excited to do a Let's Play of the Iron Man VR demo for Microglass Gaming's 5th birthday, but we'll see what happens now. I guess I'll just have to play DualShock VR games. Like, I can be able to continue Trevor Saves the Universe. I should do that because that is, like, I have a few games that have been just sitting there that I need to really get back into doing. I also have Pixel Ripped 1989, almost said 1985, 1989, which I have played, but it's been a while since I played it, so I might do a Let's Play of that. And then buy Pixel Ripped 1995 because that game looks awesome and I would like to do a Let's Play of that. So I'll probably do a Let's Play of the first game and then the second game. But we'll see. Let's see here. Now next week is gonna be crazy. Next week, okay, we got rumors here. Either next week on June 2nd or June 3rd, there's rumors that we might be getting a PlayStation 5 reveal. If we do, there's going to be another episode of this coming out for sure. I'll break it down. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the DualSense because I wanted to save that for when the PS5 gets revealed. That way it's all together. But also next week, on Friday, June 5th, Jonathan Crane Video Log 8 will be released. I'll be filming that at some point next week. So that is going to be awesome. And that is not the only Jonathan Crane video log coming out for June. There is going to be a video log number 9 that'll be out on June 19th, which is a Friday. So I'm trying to get Jonathan Crane stuff going every month, put out a couple. And do some podcast episodes, which is cool. You never know, there might be some music stuff. You never know. Thrown in there just for shits and giggles. And if there is any Halloween Horror Nights announcements, I am definitely going to be making another episode of the podcast dedicated to that because there's rumors that might be happening in June as well since City Walk along with Disney Springs opened about a week ago, and the parks are, at least Universal is scheduled to open to the general public on June 5th. Annual pass holders get to go in a couple days early. It's going to be interesting to see how all of that goes. And if we get any announcements, I'll be sure to do an episode of the podcast, so be on the lookout for that. And I just want to remind everybody that episode releases of the podcast are not scheduled. Like I said, if we get PlayStation 5 reveal next week, episode's going to be out. If we get anything announced for Halloween Horror Nights 30, episode will be out. If I watch like a movie I haven't seen before, sure, I'll make an episode. Why not? I guess that's it, man, for episode 2. If you guys liked the show, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell to be notified when there is a new episode of the show. Subscribe to Microglass Productions on YouTube, Microglass Gaming on YouTube, and Microglass Music on YouTube. Like Microglass on Facebook. Follow Microglass Official on Instagram, and follow Microglass on Twitter. And the podcast for right now is going to be exclusive to YouTube. I have been looking at a hosting site. I've been looking at Podbean, and there's a couple other ones I've been looking at, but I'm not really worried about that at the moment. So for right now, the podcast is exclusively going to be on my Microglass Productions YouTube channel. So that is going to be it. And if there's any changes, I will obviously let you know if I decide to move the podcast to a hosting site, but it'll still be on YouTube either way. But if anything like that changes, I'll be sure to make a podcast and announce that, and I'll still tinker around and play with things. I'm kind of digging how the earbud thing works here with the mic. I've been told it's really good quality. It sounds really good. So I think we're going to stick with this for a while. I'll test out some stuff on the MacBook, whatever. But I'm rambling. Like I said, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to be notified when there's a new episode of the show if you want. I want to figure out how to get other people on the show. I don't know how to do that since I'm recording off an iPad. So that'll be interesting to figure out, and I would love to figure that out. Any tips or tricks or anything, and any help that I could use. I could use help figuring all that out. So once I get that figured out, I'll be getting guests on the show, and that's gonna be that'll be really fun. I'll get my mom on here who's been in many of my films, and my favorite is the one where I had her in the second director fan film, The Warm Bath. She doesn't like when people watch it, but it's cool. It's awesome. So if you guys want, go check out all my stuff on Microglass Productions. I'm repeating myself, I know, but I want to plug all my stuff. I got fan films on The Director from Halloween Horror Nights, fan films on HR Blood and Guts from Halloween Horror Nights. I got a couple trailers for Negan fan film from The Walking Dead. I got my own original stuff like Lunatic and The Narrator. So go check all that out if you want to. I think that's going to be it for episode 2 of the Microglass Podcast. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all stick around for future episodes, because this is going to be a new adventure. This is going to be fun, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for the podcast, what episodes we're going to be doing, news, reviews, whatever happens with the PS5 reveal or Halloween Horror Nights announcements. So you never know what's coming. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Subscribe, all that typical YouTube stuff. And thanks for listening.